Normally, you would gain a level there from defeating the boss, but since I was max level, well, my unit was max level, you didn't gain a level, even though it's pointless either way, since that was the end of the game. But anyway. So basically, every character in the game has a line here that they just, you know, speak. Hey there, Gordon. I'm probably going to go through these characters when they get to the actual endings, which are right after this. And it's going to go out through every single one of them. Okay. I need to remember which is which of the axe lumberjack guys. Board. Okay. I can't remember which is the most useful one. Well, obviously Barst, but, you know, excluding him. Oh, Mathis, you never even got in the final chapter. Sorry, bro. Hey there, useless mage. No, Sirius doesn't say anything. Barst. Wendell. I'm just thinking about how many of these characters I didn't use that I normally would use, like Barst, Navarre, you know, Frey. I used Frey before. He's actually pretty good, yeah. I was hoping to use Minerva and Sirius a bit more, but I tried to use Sirius for a couple of chapters and it was just not working out for me. His levels were pretty terrible. And Minerva, I never really got around to it and didn't have enough space to bring Draco. So sorry I couldn't really show, you know, every character, obviously. Or indeed every class. I think there was a couple I missed out, like Horsemen. And 3 Cavaliers, well, 2 Cavaliers and a Horseman I didn't use. But we'll see them soon enough in the bonus chapters. Malice and Dice as well. Amongst others that are still in the game, the normal characters like Ogma. But yes, those will be in the bonus chapters. And there's 7 of them, so I still have a decent amount to do. They're actually, I would say, more difficult than the regular game is at times. So, you know, it may take a while before I get to do some of them, because some of those are tricky. I remember the BS chapters, I think it's the second one in particular, the one with Ricard. It's fucking hard. You gotta warp people around and stuff. But we'll get to that soon enough. Oh yeah, Frost is also in one of them. So, I'm not sure if I can do this, but what I'm going to try to do is on the endings. I should have. There should have been translations contributed by some people around the Fire Emblem 12 community, and I'm going to try and edit them in if I can. They're probably going to be very rough translations, and maybe not completely accurate, but I figured as may as well. I mean, we don't understand. Well, unless you do speak or understand Moonspeak, then yeah, I pretty much have no idea what the endings are. I just know that a lot of them are similar to the FE3 endings, which I'm going to be honest and say were not very good. Most of them were just like disappeared off the face of the earth for most characters, which is just pretty lazy, I think. I thought they could make better endings for this game. And this is like a cutscene, which I don't know, it goes through all of the characters again, but it's more like conversations this time. But anyway. And yes, it's going to go through a conversation for basically everyone in the game again. They'll be in groups this time though. This one's in the middle, between Cedar and Marth, with the CG there. These credits are probably going to take a very long time. I'm not kidding, these are probably the longest like ending sequence in any of the Fire Emblem games. So yeah. And of course it goes back to here. Even Jagan has his line down. I don't think I noticed that at first. Oh well. Maybe they're able for actually being alive. So yes, you will only get certain groups if you've recruited all the characters in this group. For like example, maybe I don't know. I the first time playing through this game, I killed a few characters like Roger. So I don't think you would get any of. Basically, you wouldn't get any of the lines addressed to him in this little sequence here. Characters, I guess you could call them, from the BS games make an appearance. Which is cool, because I find they're pretty cool characters, really, especially Malice, who I would have used this playthrough as I normally use her, but I decided I was probably favoring her too much, so I decided not to use her. Besides, I already had Athena as a Myrmidon, so yeah. I also killed Astrum in my first playthrough because I just couldn't be bothered with him chasing me in chapter 9. I think one with the first arena, so I just killed him off and used the arena. Got the Mercurius from that as well, although he's a bitch to kill at that point. I wasn't kidding, this is a long sequence. At like the halfway point, I'm not kidding. You still got to go through all of the endings for all of the characters. But yeah, I'll basically go through how useful I believe they are when that reel's on, even though you only get like 5 seconds or so between them. I think we're getting to the end now. The Wolf Guard show up. I don't know if I should have just skipped this, but I don't know. I decided to leave it in just in case there was a translation for it. If there isn't a translation for it, I may cut it out. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it in. I honestly have no clue at this point. Maybe I will leave it in. You get to see all the characters in with their full portraits, I guess. Zane, get off my screen. No, not really. I'm doing that again. Oh, there we go. And then there's a thing with my unit, of course. Moonspeak, etc., etc. But yeah, this game turned out to be one of my favourite Fire Emblems. I would probably rank it third after FE2 and FE4, I guess. That's probably how it would go for me. This is a very good game. Which is a shame because it never got translated. And there you go, the credits roll. So yeah. And are going to roll for a while, and then you'll get your endings, and then you'll get your chapter turn finishing thing, and then you'll get your, well that's it I think, you get your unlocks at the end of the thing, and it gives you your rankings, which I don't know what the rankings are actually, so I might have to go and check that up. Like there's 3 of them. One's probably tactics or turn counts or something. One's probably money, and the other's, I don't know, experience maybe. I have no clue actually. But yeah, as these credits roll, so pretty much going to say I really enjoyed this Let's Play. It's pretty much the first full scale one I did, what I started first as well. And yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it. And there probably will be, like I said in the update video, there will probably be another Fire Emblem game I will try to do a Let's Play of later on. So here you can just see my turn counts, prologue 1. It scrolls up the other screen, by the way. As you can see, it's scrolling up from the right screen onto the left screen. Normally on the DS it would scroll up, obviously, because it's a variable thing. But yeah. 9 turns on chapter 1 and 2. That's pretty slow actually. It also tells you the time you spent on them. Although these aren't entirely accurate since I did leave it on for a while when I did record and just cut it out. Yeah, 1 turn on chapter 6X. That's pretty much the strategy that I've got for it. Just be in 1 turn. But yeah. I could have done a better on a lot of chapters probably, but you know, I wasn't that bothered. I'm not really bothered with turn counts. I mean, you know. I mean, on chapter 15 I love, like, there is 52 turns because I was reading for a while. Oh well. Chapter 16 next was 2 turns. Yeah, so, you know, I don't really care about turn counts, but yeah, there you go. And 6 turns on the last chapter. Which I apparently spent an hour on, which is not true. Well, maybe it is actually for all the preparation I went through with it, because it did take a while to do that, but I don't think I spent that long on it. I don't know. I can have that character endings? Yes, I can. So, Luke. He's usually very good, but I dropped him after a while because he wasn't turning out that great myself. Roddy's pretty good, but I don't know, I just never really found use him. Personal preference, I guess. Cecile is probably the worst of the three starting Cavaliers, though she's still very good, has tons of speed. Gordon, he's decent. He does what he does, basically. Ryan starts out worse than Gordon, but eventually gets much better. So yeah, he's usable, very usable. Drog is actually a pretty decent armor knight, though he will be outclassed, I guess, later on in the game. Aaron is, of course, Jagan, so, you know. Well. Malicia is pretty much going to be your base healer if you're doing the game like I did it. Katria is awesome, pretty much. Warren is actually a really good hunter, but I never had space for him on my team, unfortunately. Cord is, I can't remember. Between the two Axe guys, they're both not very good, but I think Cord is worse, I'm not sure. Winda is amazing, as always. Hella is very, very good, but unfortunately I had to drop her because of unit restrictions. Now Ward, I think, is the more useful. I think he has a better weapon rank and comes with a hammer, so yeah. Julian is your thief for the game, basically. He's a very good combat unit, actually. Mathis is not very good, but I used him. And yeah, he turned out actually pretty good, but oh well. Rice is a failure. He's a failure. Reese, even. Ogma is amazing, as normal. Yumia is actually pretty good, but I don't know, I already had the healer, so I never found much point for her. Ubella is a failure. A mage failure with one magic. I don't know, maybe he could turn out good. I don't know, I've never used him. Sirius is normally very good, but I don't know, mine's got pretty screwed, so yeah, I just dropped him. Caster, I don't know about Caster actually. I think he's pretty good, but probably not as good as Warren. Sida is actually very good in this game, although she, of course, will still have strength problems. Barst is very, very good still, and I never used him, so, you know, all power to you if you need an axe user. He's probably your man. Ricard is an inferior thief to Julian, and that's all I can say, really. Frey is pretty awesome if you haven't traded a Cavalier, or want another Cavalier by the point you get him. Norn is actually pretty good, but, you know, you have to baby her a little once you get her. She only starts at level 5, I think. Samto is not a good Myrmidon, and that's pretty much it. Wendell is a decent pre-promote, and he recruits Elrines, so I don't know, maybe. He's decent, you know, he's a pre-promote. Caesar is actually a good mercenary, but he's outclassed by Ogma in every way, so unfortunately he gets the short end of the stick there. Also, Rad is basically the same with Navarre, so, you know. And you get Navarre next, and Navarre is very good, but I didn't use him this playthrough. Fina is awesome, and I use her every playthrough. And you should too. Kane is actually a very good Cavalier, although he comes a little late, and his stats aren't going to be as good as people you've trained up to this point. Bantu is the biggest failure in the game. Oh wow. Roger is actually a pretty good knight. Probably better than Drog, but well, he gets more defense than Drog. George is a pretty bad pre-promote sniper. But he comes with Parthia, so yeah. Nerva is a pretty good pre-promote actually if you train her, but I unfortunately did not have enough space to bring her. Etzel is a pretty good heal bot, and he's the only sorcerer you can get in the game without reclassing, so may as well, you could use him, yeah, very well. Merrick is a very good mage. He comes with Excalibur and he's pretty good. Elreden is unfortunately getting the short end of the stick from Merrick. Unfortunately, he's basically a lesser version of Merrick. Dice is probably the worst out of the normal fighters, which unfortunately he comes up a bit late. Malice is a pretty good Myrmidon, but her defense will never grow, even though she starts with a pretty high defense stat, unfortunately. Horus is I found a pretty bad pre-promote general. I don't find a use for him. Jake has terrible stats but amazing growths, and you could find a use for him on like normal or hard mode. Daros is a pretty good berserker. He's actually pretty good. I never used him. Robber, I don't find him very useful at all. Elf is a very good cavalier, along with the next guy, Raiden. I'm not sure what they were translating it as Raiden. Okay, they're very good cavaliers, but they're basically interchangeable between them. I think Raiden is slightly better. Beck is not very good, pretty much. He doesn't have the same crazy growths as Jake. Athena's a very good Myrmidon, but she comes so late and at level like 10, so it's very hard to use her at that point. Zane is pretty good for a unit, but yeah, like I said, he or she is a utility unit. Tiki's very good if you use her, but of course I never used her. Most of the things here are from space limitations. Est is good if you use her, but she's a pain in the ass to level up and stuff, and I couldn't be bothered. Dolph is a pretty fail general. Abel is a paladin with pretty good growths, but his bases again. McKellen is actually a pretty good general. If you train him, he has pretty good growths, but otherwise his base stats make it hard for him to train up. Astrum is a late hero that you could use if you didn't get Ogma or something, yeah. Katarina turned out pretty good for me, but she will need help in the magic department. Thomas is a pre-promote sniper that's, I don't know, he could be usable. He does chip damage, so. Shima is not very good in all fairness, but my favoritism made her good, basically. Samson is actually pretty good as well, and he's an axe hero, so if you're into that, use him. Frost is a bishop. He's not very good, but he can heal bot, and he does come with a free physic staff, so yeah. Rocher is pretty bad. He has enough speed to not get doubled, and Violent has more defense than Rocher, so I don't know, he's more stable, I guess. Sedgar is so much worse than how he was in Shadow Dragon, but oh well. And Wolf the same. They're not worth using at all anymore, or really not even worth recruiting. But I said I would recruit everyone, so there. Medea doesn't have that bad stats, it's just she's a level 12 paladin when you get her, and it's very hard to kill stuff with her. Ymir is actually pretty good for a pre-promote, but once again I couldn't use him. Nicalis is one of probably the best weight pre-promote you get. His luck is abysmal, as you know, he comes with 2 luck. Nagi is very good, especially since she comes with an Divine Stone, so she can have late usage. And then it's the 4 bishops, which basically have no use other than a plot point, and recruiting them makes it the final chapter that much harder. So yeah, I basically went over everyone. Okay. They are all very usable in normal mode, but you'll find that their use will diminish on harder difficulties, many of them, like late pre-promotes, etc. And my unit, which is completely broken, I'm not even gonna lie, probably would be my best character by a mile. And Marth, who's actually very, very good in this game, especially since he gets the binding shield later on. He's not the best unit, but he is very usable. And there's the finish screen. Ah, lovely. So, yeah, I'm supposed to press a button here. Okay, yeah. I think we're almost done. I got BAA. I don't know if that's good or not. Well, I know I got 2 A's, but I don't know what they are for. I'm going to assume the top one is turn counts, or whatever they're calling it, because I didn't do that great on them, so I'm assuming the others are experience and money. The rankings are rather easy to get, so yeah. And this is translated on the side. Congratulations on beating the game. Did you enjoy playing all the way to the end? Yes, I did. Please try hard mode above if you felt the game was too easy. Which I maybe should have done for this LP, but whatever. I can't take it back now. Event recap and sound room can now be selected from the extra screen. So yeah, after you beat the game on normal, you get this, or on any mode really. I guess I should explain what you get if you beat the game on every difficulty. Right, so I'm going to do this from memory, so I'm not that sure. I can also continue the game from the epilogue. I don't actually know what that does. I think that puts you through the ending sequence again, which I don't want to do, but anyway. Basically, if you beat the on normal, you get the sound room and music room as it was. Well, the scene room and the music room as we saw. If you beat on hard, male, the reclass sets, as the there's 2 male reclass sets, they will be combined, so you can basically reclass any male to any of other male class without having the restrictions like before. Females, of course, will stay the same since they only have 1 set. If you beat the game on Lunatic, you will unlock Lunatic Reverse, and I think you will unlock what do you call it? Stat boosters in the preparations window. You can buy 3 of them, like that last secret shop of each, except for boots. I think that's what happens when you beat it on Lunatic, and of course I've never beaten it on Lunatic, so yeah. Basically this is the thing unlocked. You can rewatch scenes as a male or female. I'll do base conversations since they're easier to see. Like if I do look in player 3, you can see I'm still the same Papal Pirate as I was before, and if I do it with female, I think it gives me the normal default female portrait or whatever it's called. I don't know. Chris is the default name for the My unit, by the way, if I didn't already say that. So yeah, you can rewatch scenes and base conversations you've unlocked. Obviously I haven't unlocked them all. Where can we find one that stops here? Yeah, Katarina and Cecile 1. There's 3 of them, I think. And the music room, so I basically can listen to music and stuff, which is very cool. And there's quite a lot of music, and this is so much Fina's song. Anyway, I'm kinda zoning out here, so yeah guys. So I'll see you next time when I do the bonus chapters for this game, but for the main game, that's FE12 finished. So yeah, I'll see you guys.